Everyone, it's Joe from Loudwire. Sitting next to me is Jesse Leach from Killswitch Engage. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How you doing, brother?
Pretty good.
Hell
Good
yeah.
to have you in here. So on the new album, Atonement, you've got a song, I Am Broken Too, which sounds hugely cathartic. So does writing under some dark circumstances yield the best material for you, do you feel?
Unfortunately, yeah, for the most part it does. That's only from, like, if I'm writing from a personal perspective. And that song actually is written about somebody else, which was a unique way to deal with it, you know, seeing how they processed it and then putting myself in the narrative. If you read the lyrics, I'm talking to somebody. It's a conversation that's happening. And yeah, you kind of need dark times and tragedy to inspire songs that dig that deep. I think anyone can relate to that, you know. If you're happy, like, if I write a song about happiness, it's not going to really strike you in the same way, you know. Yeah, I guess you kind of do have to go through pain to write stuff that's that meaty, that, you know, inspirational.
So what's it like having that kind of almost necessary relationship with darkness and trying times?
It sucks, man, but but it's my muse. It is what it is. It's like, you know, having a mental illness. Like, you don't want to be depressed, but if you didn't have that disorder, you wouldn't be as creative as you are. Most creative people have that shift, that issue, that mental illness, and it's a blessing and a curse. You just have to learn how to wrestle with it, how to deal with it. And thankfully, over the years, through being open and having conversation about it and seeking alternative therapies and exercise and diet even, you learn how to manage it, you know. And you can't prepare for a depressive or an anxiety episode. It just happens. That's part of the disorder. It's just, how do you manage it when it happens? So that's been a huge thing for me, is just when you speak about it, the conversation evolves. You meet people who are like you meet people who have it much worse off than you, and you share and exchange ideas, and those are the tools you use to deal with mental illness.
So how can somebody who doesn't suffer from any mental struggles recognize some of the signs and be the one to reach out? Because the hardest thing is really understanding an experience that you don't have yourself and trying to help somebody with that. There's that disconnect that will always be there.
That's a good question, and I agree with that too, but it's a hard one because some people don't show signs. Some people, you'd never know that they go home at night and consider suicide. You would have no idea. So I think it's just a matter of, you know, if you know somebody well enough, trying to read their body language, or, I mean, I couldn't tell you. That's why it's so important that the person that does suffer and struggle with it speak out and ask for help and say that they're not okay, because it's guesswork, you know. People who don't suffer from it wouldn't know what to look for. And again, some people don't show signs. It's not fun to sit here and talk about your quote-unquote weaknesses, you know. But to me, like, doing that is a strength. It's brave, you know. People who bottle it up and hide it, to me, that's cowardice.
Now, one thing I hear often is that getting away from technology helps, and getting out in nature. You just moved to the Catskills and the mountains.
Yes, sir.
And you also, you're very active on social media. So what's your relationship with nature versus technology during these moments? Because you're very expressive, and you do share a lot on Instagram.
Yeah, I'll share, but then I don't go and scroll through comments and, like, you know, dwell on that shit. I don't. Occasionally I'll see something that I'm tagged in and I'll respond, but for the most part I like to post up and just stay off it.
So you're putting it out there for other people to take what they need from it, but not so much to get that positive feedback that you need.
No, and, you know, occasionally I'll get messages from people. I'm very careful with that, because I think the more that you get into that, the more it sucks you in, and social media can actually be very detrimental to your mental health. That's why I got off Facebook and Twitter, all that. So it's just Instagram, and I'm very regulated now about how much time I actually spend on it. So if I put up a post, I'm not checking every 2 seconds to see what people say, because, like, it's not about that for me. It's about just
control that compulsion.
Yeah, you know, and I think for me it's just, again, that message of, like, I'm one of you, I get it. Like, hopefully you can relate to that. But I don't need to hear that I'm doing good. I don't need that pat on the back, like, oh, you're doing good, good for you. That's not why I do it. So I'm very careful with how much I really stay on social media. I think it can, you know. So if I'm on a hike, I'll have my phone on airplane mode. I'll take video, take pictures, and I'm enjoying
but no notifications.
Right,
no
right. No, none of
distractions,
that
nothing
shit.
else
No,
coming
and then
in.
when I'm done, you know, I'll post it up and.
It's just a phone instead of lugging a camera around.
Exactly, exactly.
Now, one thing that you said also kind of helps is psychedelics.
Oh yeah.
Psilocybin mushrooms.
Yes.
In particular.
Yeah.
So, what's the biggest difference that you've noticed with that?
It really takes away the anxiety, and again, low dose. I'm not like, you know, seeing Jerry Garcia and Dancing Bears.
You're
or
not
anything
going
like
on
that.
Vision Quest.
No, well, I do actually go on Vision Quest too, but that's every once in a great while. As far as like maintaining my mental health, you know, we're talking like you take a mushroom, take the cap off, eat the cap. It's gonna give you like, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours of a very mellow, balanced, warm, comfortable buzz that my social anxiety goes away. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling happy, I find joy in music and food. Like it just kind of helps push you in a better direction. And the after effects, it'll last for days. Like it helps regulate the nervous system and the mind. And you know, it's been demonized and you know, the media talks bad about it, but if you want to really talk about old school, like go back to what our ancestors used to do. Like that's medicine from the earth. That's what our ancestors did before you had pharmaceutical companies, you know, creating these poisonous things to help control the brain. We had medicine men, we had people that knew what was in the forest, what was in the jungle, you know, around us. Nature provides medicine, and that's one of them. Same thing with marijuana. It's a plant, a seed you put in the ground, and that's illegal? Are you kidding me? It's nature. It grows there. It's there for a reason. So the past, I say 4 years, I've been pretty steady on, you know, psilocybin and marijuana edibles, and it's really helped regulate my brain and helps with creativity and mood overall. I highly recommend it. But, you know, it's illegal, unfortunately. So you got to be careful with that shit.
So sometimes people can be apprehensive about psychedelics because they're afraid of the unknown, the effects of tripping. So what can you say to somebody
Yet people
to
will
prepare
suck back
themselves?
alcohol and smoke cigarettes and pop pills and think nothing about it. It's just bullshit. It's been demonized. And anything you do in moderation, control, you do your research, you really are intelligent about it, it works wonders. If you're taking a handful of mushrooms and eating them and expecting that to help your mental health, it's not going to help. You're probably going to lose it. You're going to be naked crying. I have no, you know, you got to be responsible with it. And to me, I take it very seriously. So, you know, again, it's got bad press, just like anything, you know, like if the media and you've been raised to think a certain way, like, of course you're going to think that and you're scared. But again, if you're sucking back like 50 beers and you're smoking cigarettes and you're popping Xanax and you're afraid of a small mushroom that grows out of the ground, get the out of here.